I'm going to show you how to disguise this can like this can. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. You might have a beverage. This is Canada Dry Ginger Ale, and maybe you want to disguise it as something else, and there can be all sorts of reasons for that. You might be drinking LaCroix, and everyone else is drinking Faygo, and you just want to fit in, or you may be drinking something like an adult beverage, and you just don't want to advertise that. So I've got a standard pop can here. I've got this one here too, Coca-Cola, and I just picked up these. Now, these are silicone sleeves, and I think because they have brand names on them, they're actually kind of hard to find. The listings seem to be available and then disappear, and I'm not sure if that's because of copyrights and whatnot, but you can kind of get them in any of the major brand names. Now, I'm going to call it a silicone, but it's floppy, very soft, and it's red, and it says Coca-Cola, an original taste right here, and it's tapered here a little at the top to hug your standard can. I would say that the printing isn't exactly straight, but I think that's okay. I think this is just meant to keep people off your back. I want to test this with some cans here. Now, one of the things that I actually think is clever is that the bottom is flat, and you would say, hey, well, this is tapered, shouldn't that be too? But on most of these pop cans, you can see here that this is always silver regardless of the drink. So I guess you don't actually have to wrap it all the way around. Now, I kind of want to see how hard this is to put on. You can see, it goes on pretty easy. I guess the easiest thing is to push it here. It's kind of like those Chinese finger toys. If you squeeze it here, you're putting too much pressure on it, and it has a lot of traction. And I guess that's good because if you don't have the friction on it and you're holding this thing, the can will just drop out. So you do want it to be a little bit of a tight fit here. And you can see I've got it all the way down. You can actually see the green peeking out there, but it's a pretty good fit right there. Now, I will say that this is probably, 1.5 millimeters thick. So it's going to add a little bit of thickness, and if you are eagle-eyed, you will probably be able to see it. So I'm just going to kind of push it up there right to the edge so that we're hiding that, and it's covering up all the other color. Now, if I were drinking this, you'd think, hey, that's a Coke can. Well, I actually do have a Coke can right here, and so if I just hold these up, which one is the real one? Can you tell? Well, this one is the cinnamon one, which is a little bit of a dead giveaway. But I would say that at a glance, this looks like I'm drinking Coke. Now, this is good, like I said, because you might want to be disguising a can. Now, this is an adult beverage here. This is a hard cider can, and what I want to show you is what I didn't know is that some of these cans are actually different shapes. So if I hold them top to top, you can see the Coke can is actually just a little bit longer, and this appears to me to be just a smidge wider. And what I've noticed here is that this says 11.2 fluid ounces versus 12 fluid ounces. So it's just a tiny bit smaller. So I wanted to actually see if this would fit over this, because I think this is kind of one of the reasons that you would want to get these. All right, so I went ahead and pressed it on. I mean, diameter-wise it fits, and kind of that top is about the same, so I've got it hugging that. But what you can see is because of the smaller capacity here, the bottom is hidden in there. Again, if I hold it up as a pop can, or if I'm drinking this, I guess even though this is a smaller capacity, it doesn't scream that this is not a Coke can. And really what you're trying to do here is just fool the eye, kind of keep things from being overly obvious. Now, despite the fact that this is really for disguising a can, I actually think, because this can is pretty cold, that this will probably do a decent job of insulating it, maybe keeping your cold drink cooler, because I can't feel the lower temperature through the silicone per se. So I think that's pretty nice. Hey, if you want to disguise your can as something else, I'll put a link to these in the description so you can pick them up too. Peter Von Panda, out.